Hey RC fans, welcome back to Hype RC. Today we're going to be going over the upgrades that we did for Stage 2 on our Axial base camp and our Traxxas TRX4 Sport. We put a lot of new upgrades on these things. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Alright guys, let's start off with the Stage 2 upgrades to the TRX4 Sport. Let's get the top off and get underneath the hood so I can show you exactly what we did. Now, both of the vehicles got the exact same upgrades. Both of them got a winch. Both of them got a 35K servo. Both of them got skid plates. Both of them got new bumpers. Both of them got brass portal and diff covers. Now, on the Traxxas TRX4 Sport here, we did all Injora upgrades on this. That way we can compare the exact same kind of upgrades from different companies. But this one, on the TRX4 Sport, we went with all Injora. So let's get underway and show you what we did. So we did the Injora winch with the Injora front bumper. Man, that thing is cool. Really tucks in tight for the TRX4 Sport. Much better upgrade than the factory bumper. We went with the Injora 35K front servo, which was a huge upgrade for the Traxxas TRX4. We did the Injora skid plates. We did Injora brass portal covers, and we also did the Injora diff covers, and I really like the way that those look. Injora did a great job with that black and bronze look on there. But that is all the upgrades that we did to the TRX4 Sport. Let's get over and take a look at what we did to the Axial base camp. Alright guys, let's go over the Stage 2 upgrades to the Axial base camp. First thing we did on this guy is we did put a Power Shift Technologies PST 300 internal servo winch. I thought spending the extra money on the base camp was worthy because of all the locations that they gave us to be able to mount that winch up front. Next thing we did is put on the 35K Zoosky servo. This guy is amazing for the dollar amount. We're going to compare that to the Injora 35K that we put on the TRX4 Sport. Now on this guy, we had to upgrade the suspension links that we didn't have to do on the TRX4 Sport because the TRX4 Sport came with a beefy suspension links right out of the box. The base camp actually came with a very small diameter suspension link on it that was just to get this thing to be up to par with the Sport. We had to go ahead and purchase these Hobby Park hardened steel suspension links, which are super nice. Highly recommend these. $39.95 off of Amazon. They are a great buy for the base camp. We went with some Amazon special skid plates on this. We also bought a Hot Storm bumper that I did have on here, but the base camp factory bumper sits on here and does so well and is tucked in so far that we switched right back to it. It is definitely the best bumper, front bumper I found for the Axial base camp. We did do the brass portal covers and diff covers on this guy too, so that basically brings both of them to exactly the same spot. We're going to take these guys out to the rock crawler course and run them and see who's going to win Stage 2. You guys take a pick and let me know who you think's going to win, because I have a pretty good idea who I think's going to do it. We'll see you out there. All right, guys, that was a blast taking these trucks out and running them on my home course. Let's go over how these upgrades performed. First, the Power Shift PST 300 servo winch performed like a champ. I love it. It definitely outperformed the Injora, but you know, $100 winch servo versus a $30 winch servo. I mean, you're better off going with a mid to high tier servo winch. That's just how the game is. It's stronger, it's faster, but the Injora did perform well, so I'm not knocking it. It just got outperformed. We'll go next to the servos. The Injora 35K versus the Zoosky 35K, they performed exactly the same. So the Injora is a definite bonus for the dollar item. It might even be the same servo. They look very similar. They both performed very, very well. I highly recommend both of those. The advantage of the TRX4 Sport was that it already comes with the rock sliders and the bigger links on it. So the addition of the links here were just to keep it on par with the TRX4. So the comparison on those is, you know, they're the same, but I had to purchase them and put them on this rig. The chassis armor that we put on both of these, it hangs them up, and you know it does, but I wanted to put them on there and see just how they performed. And the base camp actually did better with it just because it has more clearance than the TRX4 Sport. TRX4 Sport got hung up a little bit, but I didn't bang up and tear up those beautiful new brass diff covers that I put on. So I'm happy about that. So the skid plates did what they were supposed to do, but you do give a little to get a little with those guys. The bumper on this performed amazing, and again, so that's where the advantage goes to the base camp. The TRX4 Sport bumper, it sticks out a mile. You have to get it off there. This guy performed amazing. I really like it. It also gave me a place to mount the servo winch on the front. The standard bumper for the Axial base camp is amazing. It performed very well. We do have a clear-cut winner on these two, and we'll get to that in just a minute. We put the extra weight on these guys, and I expected both of them to perform about the same. Instead, the base camp performed really well with the extra added weight. It made this thing a tank going over, crawling and climbing over everything, as where I feel the added weight impeded the TRX4 a little bit. I think maybe it might run better as a little bit lighter of a rig, so we'll have to check that out in stage 3. The advantages and disadvantages of these two vehicles, one, the electronics for the TRX4 Sport, with the new servo, you can't adjust endpoints with the servo. It doesn't have the extra channel for the winch like the base camp does, so it has a little added you know, remote that I had to add onto the controller, which makes it a little more difficult to operate. And you know, so all that together, the clear-cut winner was the base camp for stage 2. It is performing better and better with each stage of upgrades that we do to it. And we couldn't even put the lights that came with the bumper on to the TRX4 because it doesn't have the extra port in there to run that. So the base camp got free lights off the purchase for the TRX4 Sport. They're both performing really well. We've got the big mods coming for stage 3 on both of these. We're going to put in motors. We are going to put in new bodies. You know, we've got the big ones coming for these. So I hope you guys will check that next video out. Don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, repeat. We'll see you next time.